Good morning. We're in the Flint Cemetery in Fairfax, Virginia, and we're just going to look around and see what they have out here, see if there's anything interesting. So check it out. There's a lot of an older section over here. I'm going to try and check these out first, see what they have. There's a headstone with the gates of heaven open. And this one, John H. Lynn. And he's got interesting writing here. I don't know if you can read it, but it says, "Farewell, my wife and children dear, I must before the Lord appear. I wait for you in realms above, my home is in the land of love." See if we find some other interesting ones. We got some with the ferns and a sphere. Spheres mean eternity. This one has oak leaves, and if you see them real close, there's some acorns in there, but the oak leaves stand for steadfastness, and the little acorns stand for a new life. And here's a little one with an infant with the lamb, and you've got a tree which has the limbs all cut off, so that symbolizes life cut short. Here's one, and if you look at the top, it has a sunburst in the clouds for the eternity. Crosses. There's a monument stone that has a cross. I don't know if you see it in the shadows here, but yeah, cross with the sunrise for eternity and the rock of ages. But let's see what else they have. Oh, on this side you can barely see it. It's got a calla lily. Let's see if there's something on this side. That one is another calla lily. That one looks like the same thing. There's several in the cemetery that they wrapped a red, white, and blue ribbon around, and I'm not quite sure what that symbolizes, because a lot of these are pretty early. See, there's another one over here in shadows, but they're just kind of scattered around, so it's not like it's a veteran, but it must be for something. If anybody knows, shoot me a message. There's a nice headstone here. It's got a 48 star flag on it, but that one over there says "Darling Babies, Effie and Anna." These are pretty interesting little flowers on the top with interesting scroll work on them. There's another monument that has the eternity at the top, and at the bottom has ferns and then the ivies. Ivies always stand for friendship. That's usually someone that's very well liked, and it has on there, it says loved in life and death remembered. Another one with a stripe on it. Some columbariums out here in the middle. Someone from the War of 1812, apparently maybe in the Navy. There's a lot of these headstones that are really worn and hard to read. Some more over here. You can barely make the names out, but that's about it. This one has, if you can kind of see it, it's got the sheaths of wheat, which means the eternal harvest. Here's the back side, you can see it a little better. And here's a real interesting one with Book of Life, and then you've got the drapery around it for mourning. Here's some interesting headstones here. Here's one here with a dove, which stands for peace. And then we've got this one. It's really hard to read the writing, but she was 23 years old. I don't know, I'll put it there so you can see if you can read that. Then this one is their father, apparently, and says he was a prisoner of war, and his grave is unknown. And then here, I guess, is his wife. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God. Those are really interesting. All right, I found out what these stripes mean on these. These are people who were veterans of the Civil War. So that's pretty interesting. So they're kind of scattered throughout here. Here's one with some more oak leaves. Oak leaves and ivy. So she was strong in her beliefs, and she was also a very friendly person. And this one here is pretty interesting here. This one has kind of like, usually associated with sort of the New Jerusalem at the top. Here's an interesting one from a Civil War veteran, and it says, it's real hard to read, but if you can read it, but it says, I should not like to be a slave, and it would be wrong for me to inflict on another that I would not for myself. And then I guess he, and then at the bottom's a Bible verse, willing rather to be absent from the body and be present with the Lord. So that's pretty cool. A lot of these have a lot of writing on them, but really hard to read. Here's a headstone that has a sundial on it. Also has the winged, it means eternity passes quickly, or life passes quickly. Here's a couple of headstones that, if you can see, they've got a crown of glory on top of theirs. Nice one with a cross and then all the flowers and vines. See some of these under the tree, see? That one's just a young child, daughter. Effie. Here's a really nice little monument here that has the drapery palls on it. And you can see the sunflower up at the top, which means eternal life. We've also got the cut wheat, which is the eternal harvest. You've got the broken rose, which means a life cut short. And on this side, you've got the broken chain, where life has stopped. You've got the hand holding the cross, pointing to heaven. This one has pretty much everything on it. It's very intricate. Here's an old headstone. You can barely read it, but apparently he was in the War of 1812, maybe the Revolutionary War. And they've got a QR code. I guess you could look it up if you want to. This over here is more of the newer section. All the newer headstones all kind of back here. What's different here than in Texas is a lot of the older headstones in Texas seem to have the handshake and farewell and things. You see that almost everywhere. Haven't seen one of those in this cemetery. Maybe it's a little more regional. There's some double headstones. Here's a couple of the pulpit style headstones. This one covered with a lot of moss, but you could kind of make out the gates of heaven that are open. Same as this one, has gates of heaven open and a dove of peace above with the book of life on top. And this one has a cross. Another one of the Rock of Ages monuments. They seem to be a little bit popular here. I've seen several of them in the cemetery, but it has the cross sitting on rocks with eternal light shining from behind it, and then has the calla lilies on the other three sides of it. But yeah, I've noticed several of those, so that seems to be a pretty popular headstone at the time. big church right there beside the cemetery. Here's an old headstone laying in the ground, but it was for a little child. And it says, in memory of our beloved son. And it says, the golden gates were opened, a gentle voice said, come, and with farewell unspoken, he calmly entered home. Another little child's grave right there too. There's an interesting headstone here that has etched glass between the arches. Let's see if you can see the name through it there. Here's a headstone with the butterfly. You don't see a lot of them, but they do pop up every now and then, and it's a symbol of resurrection. Here's one that I have never seen before, but apparently it appears to be a circle of life type of image where you've got like a tree, the limbs come out and the roots come out and they all intertwine, and it's just a continual life thing. Here's an interesting headstone. It's got all sorts of animals on it. You've got a turtle, a stork. There's the flower, and on the back you've got Mr. Gecko and Shadow Boy. I don't know if that was pets or what. And then, well, actually over here's a couple other interesting ones. This one with the iris. And then you've got the angel guarding the tomb. And then you've got this one with the red bird, and I'm not sure what kind of bird that is, but apparently there's some bird lovers here, because right a few away there's one here with bluebirds, and they posted a birdhouse above it that says protect bluebirds. Here is another headstone and family with a sense of humor. It's the Darn family. And it says, it was a darn good life. Well, I hope you enjoyed the cemetery. It's pretty interesting out here, getting out to different locations. It's always fun to see what's a little bit different in different regions. So come along with me next time. Who knows where we'll end up. Oh, and like and subscribe.